Okay, almost done with that? Almost. Hey, it's Mr. 5150. We gotta get some whips. Where? He's right there. Get him. Man, these fools are tripping. I just need some 187s. He got away. What the hell are we gonna do now? Eat. Dude, I need those whips. They're freaking sold out everywhere. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Get a hold of yourself. Hey, what are you guys fighting about? Just get them at glifeetv.com. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to show you guys how to install a set of 5150 whips, whether that be the 187 models or the 2-pin RCA connection. And we're going to answer some of the questions that a lot of you guys have been messaging me over Instagram, mainly how to use the 5150 harness and switch to power your whips, because they're not exactly plug and play. You do have to do some cutting, some splicing, and we'll show you how to do that. So a lot of you guys are going to buy whips like my boy Abraham behind the camera. These are Chinese whips from Amazon, and they're not the most bad thing in the world. They're decent whips, they'll last you a while, but the thing is, when they break, there is no warranty and you're not going to be able to get them fixed. And this situation here, I'm not sure what they're using, this sort of plastic here. They broke on him, and now we're replacing them with 5150 whips. And 5150 uses fiberglass rods. They're very high quality. Will they break? All whips break, but the difference is they have lifetime warranty. All you gotta do is ship them to California here, where their station I think is in Victorville, and they'll get them fixed for you and send them back to you. So that's really awesome for the price, and what you get for the lifetime of your vehicle is great. So we're gonna start off with showing you the tools we're gonna use, what whips we're gonna go on the mean machine, and well yeah, let's get into it. All right, so real quick, when you buy your set of 5150 whips, by the way, on the website, link down below, these are the hyper colors. So these are going to be in red. You can see them here on the display. They also have blue, and there's also white. The white ones are really bright. There's also purple, green, and I believe amber, and possibly pink for you ladies out there. But we're going to focus on these red hypers. There's also the standard remote control whips and the standard Bluetooth whips. Those also have the same connection, so this is going to apply to this as well. The only other whips that are different in the 187 lineup, or excuse me, the 5150 lineup, is the 187 whips, which are the big ones. These are the premier whips. They do a lot of different things, like the color dancing that you see right now, the cascading effect. And those are a little bit different because they come with a Bluetooth module and two 10-foot extensions. So the wiring is slightly different, but we're going to show you how to do that in this video. Also available to make your install a lot easier is the relay fuse harness that you can purchase on the website as well. This one I made myself, but it's exactly the same copy of what you will get. It's about 10 feet in extension. You can get the 5150 switch. This one does not say 5150, but it is pretty much the same design switch. Has a relay, has a fuse, and has connections for your battery. We'll show you guys how to install that as well. But first we're going to focus on mounting the hardware. So when you buy a set of whips, you get obviously the whips, you get these two RCA leads if you buy the hypers. If you buy the 187s, you will get a module and the two extensions, and then besides that you will also get the mounts. Now these are aluminum. The great thing about these is that the bases on the whips have a magnet on them, and that magnet pops onto these bases, and it makes installing or removing and installing the whips really easy. So we're gonna go ahead and install these bases on the Can-Am X3. You do not need to buy any other mounts. If you have the factory cage, there's already a hole in here, and you can see it right there. So we did have to drill the plastic out, but I guess Abraham had already did that on his previous set of whips. Why are you hiding for, fool? Stop being weird, homie. Damn, weirdo. Anyways, so that'll go in right there. just like that. We'll put our washer and our lock nut here, or nylon lock nut, and we'll tighten that down. So on these bases, they say 5150 whips, or if you don't want to see that, you can actually see the Made in USA logos, which is pretty cool as well. So that's on there. If we grab a whip, we go ahead and install it really easily. Let me show you guys that real quick. So all the whips come with 5150 flags. They're not huge, they're perfect in size for your next trip. So it makes it, you know, easier, not have to worry about putting whips on there, because I think they are required in many places. So the hex that's built into the actual whip goes into the hex that's built into the Allen that's in the base. So now that that's in there, we'll go ahead and run our wiring. So now that the base is installed, you have two options when it comes to mounting this this lead. Now, not two options, but two options that I'm going to show you guys in this video. So one would be, you pretty much zip tie it to the cage or to any plastic surrounding, so you can go ahead and have this available when you need to plug in your whips. What we're going to do in this video is we're actually going to drill a hole through the plastic roof and through this metal bracket. That way the this connection is always there and is, you're never going to fall down and never have to look for it. It's always going to be right on the roof, and you can make your connection really easy. All right, now you drill your hole. This is a 1/4 inch hole. Now you can stick the lead through there. And now when you want to make your connection to your whips, it's always available. You never have to go look for it. So I like doing it this way. And that plugs in just like that. So it's pretty clean. And now obviously the rest of it, you're gonna have to zip tie it to the C-pillar here, but no big deal, you were gonna do that anyways. So the boys are gonna take off the trim here, and what you're gonna wanna do is actually add extensions to the wiring. So obviously this power and ground is not gonna reach all the way to the center console. We gotta add some wire. So I have here some 18 gauge wire, and the connections are really simple. We're gonna use these heat shrink butt connectors. And in order to do that, we need two tools. One is going to be this crimper that I got from Wirefly on Amazon, and these are some, I believe they are Klein wire strippers. So all this stuff will be in the links down below in the description box if you want to pick them up. They are from Amazon, so easy to pick up. So this is copper wire, by the way. Make sure when you're buying wire, especially from Amazon, you're getting copper stranded wire. You don't want to get any of the cheap stuff. So with this wire, we're going to add extensions roughly 7-8 feet from this pigtail down to at least the very bottom of the center console area. So this is gonna route behind the plastics down below, obviously on this side. You're gonna zip tie this going down, then towards the center tunnel, and right there we will leave a connection available. And from that extension is when you're gonna plug into your harness. So a lot of you guys have asked me if you need to buy 2 of these harnesses in order to power both of your whips, and the answer is no. You just need one harness, and you're going to use again some of these butt connectors and split the wires, so one will go to one whip and the other will go to the other whip. All right, so when you add your extension wire from the pigtail of the whip to your harness, you want to cover up this wire because you don't want to leave it bare. It can easily you know, rub onto something and short out. So there's this nylon braid you could buy also on Amazon. Again, I will leave a link for this, and you can use this to protect the wire. So we'll do that now. We'll get some extensions and add them to those pigtails. All right, so stripping wire, you only want to strip about 1/4 inch of insulation off the copper wire. Now there is numbers on these wire strippers to tell you. So if you have 18 gauge wire, you use the 18 gauge hole. Once you do that, you use some of these heat shrink connectors, and we're going to install these. These are great because they are water resistant, and we're going to put that in there. Here's the crimper. Again, these are color coded, so the heat shrinks are red, so you use the red marking on this crimper, and that's it.
Just like sheet metal.
Because these are heat shrink, you gotta apply some heat. I suggest using a heat gun or your mom's blow dryer. But I use a torch, but it kind of isn't the greatest idea because you could burn the wires, but I'm kind of already used to it. So if you're gonna use a torch, you gotta have constant movement so you don't burn the wires and you just provide the heat. So as you can see, the heat shrink goes over the wire. Water's not gonna get in, and now it's safe. So now we have pretty much the wire that we need to reach our wiring harness, but we're gonna protect it with that nylon braid. So the nylon braid, usually when you make a cut, you gotta use the torch to melt the ends, because if not, it starts fraying. But then you just stick it through the wire and route it through. It's pretty simple. All right, once you run the nylon, so you can cover up the butt connectors, all you gotta do is wrap it up You know, usually you can use heat shrink, but I don't have any on hand, so we're gonna use this cloth tape. This cloth tape is really good. It's really resistant against, you know, rubbing on the metal. All right, so that's that. It could be cleaner with some heat shrink. I'll leave links to the heat shrink down below. But now you have this nice 10-foot extension. So this, you're gonna do it on both sides, and then we'll show you how it connects to the harness. All right, so you're gonna wanna route the wiring behind the C-pillar. You might use a zip tie here, and then behind the fender. Once you're behind the fender, you're gonna wanna follow the other looms of harnesses that may be here. For example, on this one, we have a, looks like a evap line, and then that's gonna go, actually, that might be the diff, but anyways, and then you're gonna route that way towards the center tunnel. So zip tie it all around here. So this would be zip tied all in here, up that way, and then eventually you will meet behind the tunnel. So we'll remove this plastic in just a second. Now this process is gonna be similar for the Razor, for the Talon, for the KRX, wherever you route your whip. Do the best you can at hiding it, avoiding any moving objects, such as a suspension, and also heat. Get it away from the exhaust, make sure it's not gonna be anywhere it's gonna melt. So we already got the seats off on this machine. If you never remove the seat on a Can-Am X3, it's actually really simple. So on the Can-Am X3, they are attached by bolts. Unlike the Razor where it kind of clips in, on the Can-Am you have to actually remove the hardware. So in the front here, bolt and nut, 13mm, there's 2 of them. And then at the very back of the seat, there's a 18mm nut on both sides. And then at the very top, if you have the 4-point harnesses, you do have to remove the 18mm here. And then that way you can pull off the whole seat and put it aside. So now that that's that, you can pull the plastics out. And this thing's gonna be a little dirty. While Abraham routes the wires at the back and zip ties everything along there, we're gonna show you guys the actual harness. So on the switch, we'll show you guys the switch real quick. Now, like I said, I made this real quick just for this video, but the harness that you buy from 5150 is pretty much in the same orientation. So there's gonna be 2 blue wires, 1 white wire, and 2 black wires. The 2 black wires are gonna go to the very top of the switch. So if you're looking at the switch facing up, the 2 top wires are gonna be black. The 2 bottom wires are gonna be blue, and the other wire above that, that's singular, and there's only 1 of them, that's gonna be white. And then you're gonna pretty much mount this switch somewhere, and you're gonna provide power to the whole harness. And then you have your power and ground, which are gonna be this guys right here, and those are gonna go to your ground on your bus bar here. So ground, and the power wire is actually gonna go to accessory. And the reason we put it to accessory is so it doesn't draw power all the time. If you want to be able to control your whips anytime, whether the key is in the ignition or not, you would set this up to power. But the problem with that is the little light indicator on the switch is probably going to stay on, and over time it will drain the battery. Oh no! So I like to put it on the accessory, and because this is a low draw device, it is not going to draw a lot of amperage, and the whips will be fine on the accessory. And then the last connection, which is going to be power and ground to power the actual whips, that's where you're going to make your connection at the very back of the tunnel with the 2 wires coming from the whips. So we'll go ahead and install some of this stuff and show you guys that. All right, real quick tip, just a tip. This harness does come with some kind of oversized ring terminals. They are a little big for my taste as well, no homo, but that's because this is gonna fit a wide variety of vehicles. So for me, I like to use terminals that are gonna fit my machine. I think these are 3/8 or 5/16, and they will fit on the Can-Am bus bar. I'm also gonna link these down below. It's the same exact process as I showed you guys earlier. You cut these off, strip the terminals, and then crimp the terminals, and then you have the proper connection. So again, ground is the very top, and then accessory at the very bottom. Now we're not going to show you guys how to zip tie everything. You should be able to figure that out. It's not that big of a deal. Route the wiring, zip tie it to the existing harnesses, put your covers back on. We'll show you guys the last connection at the very back, where we're going to connect the 2 whips to the whip harness that comes from 5150. All right, so we have one harness coming from one whip and one from the other. So these you would join together, and you would make your connection right here. So now you have 1 power and ground coming from one whip and 1 power and ground coming from the other whip. Then you pretty much just join them together You separate the powers and the grounds, put the red with the red and the black with the black, and you make your connection to your 5150 harness. And now we should have power to our whips and be able to turn that on. So this switch will light up only when the ignition is on, as you can see. Now obviously, if you buy the one from 5150, it will say 5150. They are on now, and as you can see, both of the whips are on. And that's pretty much all there is to it. All you gotta do now is zip tie the wiring, keep it nice and clean. And honestly, if I would have took my time, this I would actually remove all the excess wiring. So instead of making the connection where I made it, you actually cut this to about the point where you need it, then make your connection, and you have a lot less wire that you have to, you know, zip tie in your tunnel here. And that's pretty much it. That's the wiring. Now, if you're doing 187 wiring, it's very simple. One small difference, you're gonna be putting a module and you're gonna be putting 2 extensions. So instead of adding the extensions that we had to add to these hyper whips, it already comes with extensions, and they are plug and play 3-pin, and they will connect to this module. So these 2 extensions will end up being what these are, and you will make your connection here. Then the module will get powered by the harness, and you have a black for ground and a red for power. The other 3 wires are actually for options for turn signal. So green is a turn signal and yellow is a turn signal, and then white is for the brake light functionality of the 187 whips. When you step on the brakes, the whips will turn red as being brake lights. So that's a cool option. I don't have them wired like that on my machine because I don't want them to turn red, especially because I have a blue car. But if say you have a black car and you don't mind, it's actually a pretty cool feature because it's for safety wise at night. People can obviously see that you're on the brakes and they can slow down as well so you don't get hit from behind. So that's a nice option. All right, so we're gonna put this back together. I think that's it for this video. I want to show you guys how to install some of these 5150 whips. Like I said, go to glifeutv.com, use code GLIFE5 and get yourself 5% off. You can purchase a set of these hypers or some of the other products that 5150 offers, like the 187s, the rock lights, the halos, the eyebrows, all that stuff. And yeah, we're preparing for a night ride and we're gonna get this ready so we can go out and rip. See you guys in the next video. Peace out. Outtakes, dude. What's going on? We got the freaking pork rinds right here. Check out the new 187 Generation 2 rock lights. Those are badass. Hey, I don't even have those on my machine.
All I know is Abraham's Young actually has something done right.
Yeah. Check out whips.
Right for what?
You're the only one that touches the car, bro.
Yeah, but all the junk you buy. Junky. The old whips were junky. This actually stopped working. I had to take it apart. I had to resolder it. You see that? Yeah. I don't know what happened. I mean, Baja Designs, I trust them versus most of the other light manufacturers. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good ones, but they're really good. But the terminal came unsoldered or broke off in there. And then these used to be on CJ's, hand-me-downs for Abraham. And we're gonna wire them right now. We're just gonna wire them to the light bar because there's gonna be a lot of changes to this machine as far as the cage goes and possibly the wiring. So we're not gonna go too crazy about rewiring stuff. So we're just gonna tie them into the light bar. But that's not important right now. That's not that interesting. We got some carne asada and chicken.
Got some ribs, carne asada.
Ribs, Master Chef. That's right.
Ladies with full head of hair.
And chicken. What are you talking shit for? So Abraham's kid, he's about 3 months old?
Under
3 months? 2.5 months. He's got a full head of hair.
More than me.
Me and Abraham are freaking balls. You got hair in front of him, see? Hey, ladies, CJ is looking. Yeah, he's looking. He's got a full head of hair still. Get your boy up.
Hey, fool, you wanna know why he's a grill master dog? Tell him, fool. What you just said off camera.
Huh?
You like to have the fucking meat in your hand,
Because I like to lay it on the grill, homie.
Alright, that's enough. See you guys.
What do they say in the movie?
Pan pan strong.
Get my pan.
Yeah. Well, you have to do it hard, dog. Otherwise, it's not gonna look funny.
All right, just go straight up.
Yeah.
Put your hand on it.
Grab him.
All right, ready?
Don't fuck us that hard, bitch.
It's only one take, right?
Go. Go.
Hey, G-Live UTV, support your boy, cause this is some bullshit.
Go. That was weak.
I didn't want to hit him hard.
Nah, look at
Why did you laugh?
I know.
He's like,
Ready?
Ready?
Come on! Nah, fool, it's not.
You gotta fucking like
I don't
that,
want to
fool.
smack him.